Hi guys, welcome back to Rock Fabulous 40s, and yes, you guys are probably seeing me in the same sweater and same hair. I'm doing a lot of filming this morning. It is Saturday morning. I have got my cup of coffee here, and guys like my chihuahua. I've said that the last two videos. Anyway, so I'm doing a lot of filming today. I'm trying to get through kind of like the top 5 high-end and affordable brands in different categories, and I've already posted the primers and the foundations, and this will be going up on a Tuesday, and this one is going to be my favorite eyeshadow palettes. Okay, so in my number 5 spot of my affordable or drugstore palettes, eyeshadow palettes, my number 5 is from Wet n Wild, and this is the Au Naturel palette, this guy right here. Now, they are redoing a lot of Wet n Wild palettes, actually almost all of their Wet n Wild palettes. They're redoing into new packaging, and I think they're reformulating, and I have a lot of them, and I'm testing them out. I'm not ready to do reviews on them yet. I'm testing them out. So this is the original Au Naturel palette. They have redone this palette as well. This is a 10-pan palette. Like I said, they are redoing this one, and I've not tried the new one of the Au Naturel palette yet, but I really, really do like this one. Wet n Wild has been known for putting out some really, really good eyeshadows. They have their Color Icon line, which does some really, really amazing things. So I don't know how they're going to better their Color Icon line, but that's what they're doing. And like I said, I have a lot of them I'm testing out, and that'll be in a much later video once I'm done testing them all out. But number 5 on my affordable list is from this Wet n Wild. This is the original Au Naturel, and I really, really do love this palette. Let me do a few swatches for you here. Okay, so I am swatching this one, this one, this one, this one. And these are them right there. And look at these. Do you guys see how beautiful these are? I do have a video where I reviewed this palette, and I believe I have a demo in that video as well. I will put the link for it down below, or I might put it up in the eye up here somewhere. I'm not sure yet, but I will link that. So that's the first 4 colors. Let's go on to the next 4. This one, this one, this one, this one. And this palette does have a nice mix of mattes and shimmers. Okay. I'm getting really close to the sweater sleeve here. Let me pull that down. There we go. So there's the next 4. You guys see them? And then the last 2 is kind of a slate and then a black, which seems to have a little bit of a shimmer in it, but you can't really see the shimmer. Okay, that's the slate and the black. Do you guys see that? Okay. I don't find these to be patchy at all when applied. I find that they blend pretty easily. I do notice a little bit of skipping sometimes when I'm trying to apply, and I don't know if that's just maybe my primer, but I'm usually pretty good at trying to put a powder over my primer to set it before I go in with shadows. So some of the shadows, like the black, when I apply and try to blend, I do notice a little bit of skipping, but it's not bad. And like I said, I'm not just sure if that's just me or if that's the shadow. I'm wanting to say it's probably just me, but I do really, really love this palette. And like I said, it's got a combination of some mattes and shimmers. I mean, they're mostly shimmers. These 2 are matte here. And this black one, even though it has a little bit of a noticeable, like, tiny itty-bitty shimmery glitter in it, when applied, it actually applies matte. It looks matte when applied. So this is just a beautiful, beautiful palette. And I've really, really, really enjoyed the looks I've been able to get out of this palette. And just like the name implies, it is Au Naturel. You can dramatic it up a little bit, but it's great for an everyday palette. Okay, number 4 on my list is from e.l.f. And this is the e.l.f. Mad for Matte. Okay, it's their little 10-pan palette here. This is the original Mad for Matte. This one is my favorite one. They've got the Mad for Matte 2 and 3 now, and I think they have a smoky. But this is the original one, and this one is my favorite one, and I just absolutely love this guy. These shades for an affordable palette. This palette was like $10. These shades are so pigmented, so blendable. I mean, it's not even funny. And I'm trying to do this without the mirror just blinding you guys here. And it's just, these are just freaking amazing. Let me do some swatches here. I'm going to swatch the first 4 first. And these are, like I said, 100% matte, hence the name, Matte for Matte. They are very creamy, very buttery feeling. Those are more of your skin tone, so I'm not so sure that they're going to show up the greatest here. Okay. Very creamy, very, very smooth feeling when I put my finger in it and also when I put my brush in it. Alright, let's go to the next 4, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, which is kind of a, I want to say a warm brown, a cool brown, a taupe, kind of a darker brown here. Okay, those are them. And let's see, how can I do this here? Let's go swatch, swatch. Do you guys see that? Do you see the pigmentation in those? I mean, seriously. And these just blend out beautifully on the eyes. They really do. Now I'm going to go in for the gray, and I don't want to say this is a black. I don't feel it's a black. I feel it's just a very, very dark, dark gray. This one right there. Okay. Very, very beautiful. That's a very beautiful color there. It's a very, very cool tone gray. It's just gorgeous. Okay, so again, these blend beautifully. They're soft feeling, they're creamy feeling. Sorry, I was looking down in my mirror. I don't know why. Habit. But this is a very, very beautiful palette, and it's got a nice mirror. And this is a really good traveling companion because you have a lot of shades in here and really can get a lot of looks out of this palette. It is, like I said, a beautiful palette. Okay, number 3 in my affordable palette list. This is a smaller palette from Wet n Wild, and this is the Walking on Eggshells palette. This little guy right here. Again, this is the original one. I do have the new one that I've been playing around with, and again, I will fill you guys in on that after I've played around with the rest of them. But this is the original one, and I have really enjoyed this palette. This is a beautiful, natural, everyday, I could go to work in this and not feel like I'm just overly made up. It is just beautiful. It's got a really, really nice crease color here, and yes, it does have a little sheen to it, but as a crease color, it is still very beautiful. You could use that as a crease, you could use it all over the lid, you can use this as a highlight, or you can use it all over the lid. I've used this as a highlight. I mean, it is just beautiful, and not only this one here, this brow bone one, it is not only a beautiful brow bone highlight, but you could use it on the tops of your cheekbones as well. Let me shear this out a little bit so you guys can actually see. Okay, do you guys see it right there? Yeah, right there. That would make a beautiful top of the cheekbone highlight, which I have actually done that before when I was traveling and I forgot to bring a highlight, but I had that palette, so that's what I used, I used that brow bone shade as a highlight, and it looked beautiful. And these are typically, what, $3.99 palettes? $3.99? I mean, they're very, very affordable, very inexpensive. And like I said, they are coming out with the new Walking on Eggshells, the new Wet n Wild palettes. I'm going to do comparisons between this one and the new Walking on Eggshells. But just a spoiler alert, I have used the new Walking on Eggshells quite a bit, and it's still really pretty good. So anyways, I'm going to be doing some comparisons between the two. So if you guys see the Walking on Eggshells, whether it be the original or the new, jump on it. Seriously, because it's really good. Alright, number 2. Number 2? That's not 2. Number 2 on my affordable list are these Milani Everyday Eyes. These guys right here. I do have several of these, but these two are my favorite shade selections. The first one is called Your Plum Basics, and it's got some nice purples in here, some just cooler tones, which is right up my alley. Let me do some swatches here for you guys. Okay, and it does come with a little brush here, but the brush is not my favorite, so alright, so this is the cream color that I use as my highlight. Do you guys see how pronounced that is? I mean, that is just beautiful, right? And then we've got kind of a taupey brown. Okay, again, gorgeous, very pigmented. Okay, then we've got kind of this shimmery kind of pink here. And out of the entire palette here. This one is probably the one I was the most disappointed in. It swatches beautifully, but it's kind of crumbly. It does leave a little bit of fallout. Can you guys actually see, like, if I put my finger in it, do you see how it's kind of crumbling? Okay, so it is a little crumbly with some fallout, but it can be built up and it can be a very beautiful shade. You just have to really tap your brush off when you use it. And then here's this purple guy right here. Again, beautiful. Purples are really hard to do. So when I find a good purple, look at that. I am freaking all about it. Look at that. That is just gorgeous, right? And then we've got kind of a plum here. Okay. Beautiful. That's a matte shade there. And then we've got another highlight shade here. This one feels a bit chalky. So you guys will notice the pigmentation is not the best on this one. It is a bit chalky. I don't use this one a whole lot, but the rest of these are just beautiful. So you've got, and the brow bone highlight here is matte. So you have 1, 2, 3 mattes, and the rest are shimmers. Like this is a shimmery shimmer. That's supposed to be a shimmery shimmer. And that's just kind of a satiny sheen right here. So these are just absolutely beautiful for the drugstore. So if you guys run into these Milani Everyday Eyes, if you find a color scheme that you really, really like, get them. They are so worth it. This is the other one. This is in Must Have Naturals. I do have reviews online on these. I will link below. Okay, so the Milani Everyday Eyes is in my number 2 spot. My number 1 spot, I just found these just this past year. And these are new from just this past year. These are the Maybelline City Mini palettes. These are really good, guys. There's 1 or 2 that I don't like, but for the most part, these are really, really good. My favorite, let me find it. My favorite one is this one in Downtown Sunrise. As far as color selection goes, Downtown Sunrise is my favorite one. I've got 1, 2 mattes here. Actually, I've got 3 mattes. I've got 1, 2, 3 mattes here. So you've got a brow bone highlight. This could be used as like an all-over base, which I use to actually set my primer with. And that is an amazing crease color or outer V. Let's go ahead and swatch these guys here. Okay, do you guys see that? Look at that. These are gorgeous. Okay. Gorgeous shades. Gorgeous shades. And then this peachy, it's kind of a, I don't even know how to describe it. It's peach, but it's got a red to it. And then you've got a champagne and kind of a peachy pink. Those are also beautiful. I don't have any issues with any of these creasing, smearing, falling out. Look at that. Beautiful. This one is like one of my favorite colors. I wear this one all over the lid a lot of times. It is gorgeous. So this one is in Downtown Sunrise. And then the other one that I really like is in Chill Brunch Neutrals. Let me try to open this guy here, which is this one right here. And this is going to be more of your plums. It's a very neutral palette. It's plums and cool tones. Okay, let's swatch some of these guys here. Okay, look at that. Beautiful, right? I'm so sorry, guys, if this is kind of hard to see on my hand. I'm doing the best I can here. Okay, so, I mean, look at that. Beautiful. Now let's get these 2 guys here. Okay, these are your 2 really shimmeries. Okay, just beautiful, beautiful shades here. They go on nice. They not only go on nice, they blend nice. They don't skip on me. It's just a really good all-around palette. And I have noticed that these City Minis are really good everyday palettes. They really are. There's only one of the City Minis that I've tried that I haven't liked. And I've got it in my drawer and I just don't use it. I don't reach for it. It's the one by, I think it's called Shayla. I don't like that one. I don't feel, I like the colors, but I don't feel that they're very workable. I don't feel that they're very blendable. But the rest of these I've not had any complaints with at all. So the City Minis by Maybelline, guys, if you see these and you haven't tried them, try them. They're really good. Okay, so that is my affordable favorite palettes. Now we're going to get into my high-end. Starting with number 5 on my high-end palette list. This is from Buxom. This is their White Russian on the Rocks palette. It's very mirrory. I love this packaging. It's beautiful. I have been told and I have seen that this is a limited edition palette, but yet I've been able to still see it online for sale at Ulta, and it's been at Ulta for over a year, so it's still available. So I'm not exactly sure how limited edition this is, but it is a beautiful palette, and I love the sturdy packaging. Okay, let's go ahead and pop it open. It does come with a pretty worthless brush. It's got a nice mirror, and then here are your shades. Okay, so it is more of a lighter palette, I want to say, but for everyday it is beautiful, and I love wearing this as everyday shades. Not a whole lot of matte in here. There's like one matte right there. This one's got some shimmer in it, a little bit of like visible glitters, but they don't show up that much, so I would probably consider it sort of a matte. The rest of these are shimmery, but they are beautiful. Let me go ahead and swatch these, guys, and they are so soft and buttery and creamy and just amazing feeling. Okay, so this is the first 3. 1, 2, 3. Look at this. Okay, so for very light shades, and this one's going to be hard to show up because it is my skin color. Okay, so for very light shades, I mean, look at that. And look at that gold. Do you see that? It actually looks kind of a yellowy white in the pan, but when you look at it, it's got a very strong gold shift to it. It's just, let me put this down. It's just beautiful. Can you guys see it? I don't know if you can actually see that. Let me, or maybe I should, this end? The light's kind of washing it out a bit, isn't it? But it does have a really strong gold shift. There you go. Now you can kind of see it. And then let's go to the last 3. So this one, this one, this one. So we have kind of a peach, a shimmery taupe, and then a dark brown, which has got visible glitter, but it's not really all that glittery. So here's the dark brown, here's the taupe, and the peach. The peach is my favorite. That's my favorite shade in the palette. I just love it. It is just beautiful. And one of the things that I love about these Buxom palettes, guys, is not only are the shadows of amazing quality, which they really are, but you can interchange the shadows. So you can buy Buxom singles and interchange them in your palette. You can pretty much design your own palette. These all have like these little, in the back here, they have these little panels that come out, and your shadows are on them. So you can actually pull each individual shadow out. You guys can see right here, it just pops out with that. You can pull each one of these individual shadows out and replace them with other shadows. So for example, like this peach is my favorite. So if I run out of this peach and I want to replace just the peach and not have to buy the whole palette again, I can replace just the peach. Or if there's some shades in here that I don't like, I can go find some shades that I do like and put them in this palette and have them available to use here as well. So I really like a lot of these Buxom palettes because of the ability to be able to interchange your shades. Let me get this, see if I can get it back in here. And then it just snaps right back in. So it's really cool. Alright, so that's pretty awesome. So this is number 5. Number 4, it's kind of a smaller palette. This is from Clinique, and this is the Clinique Pink Chocolate. Okay, this is it right here. This has been a favorite of mine actually for a really long time, and I just cannot get over this palette. I just love it. It's beautiful for an everyday look, and you can make it a little more dramatic if you want to. One of the things about Clinique shadows is most of their shadows are more of a natural look I want to say. They're not quite as intense as some of your other shadows out there on the market, but they are still very beautiful, and I love these. And Pink Chocolate is my favorite palette that Clinique actually carries. And also on the inside, they have this little eyeball with little numbers on it. I'm sorry if I'm blinding you guys. It has little numbers on it here, so you can actually see how they're suggesting you apply the shadows. You don't have to go by that, but you can apply them any way you like. So let's go ahead and let's swatch these guys. I get a lot of use out of these. I mean, a lot of use. Okay, you see they're not, even in swatches, they're not like the most strongest, most pigmented, most intense colors in the world. But when you put those on the lid and you blend them out, they are beautiful. I mean, these are just gorgeous. And when you first apply them, you're kind of looking at them going, I don't know, that's not really going to be, you know, a really strong look. It's not going to be really intense. But then a couple hours later, you go and you look in the mirror and you're like, holy crap, look at those shadows. Those are beautiful. That's kind of how it hit me when I first started using this palette. The first thing that drew me to this palette was the color selection. It really was. And then the first time I used it, I went, I don't know, it's not too pigmented. I applied it to the eyes and went, where's the color? A couple hours later, I was in the restroom and I was washing my hands and looked up in the mirror and I went, oh, that is really pretty. So I've been wearing it ever since, and I've had this palette for quite some time and I just absolutely love it. So this is number 4 in my high-end top 5. Number 3. I've had this one for a very long time and I love it, and it is my Urban Decay Naked 2. And you open it up. Ugh, if I can get it open. Okay, this one actually is one of those palettes that does have a usable brush. It is a kind of a nice brush. You guys will see I have gotten a lot of wear and tear out of this palette. I just absolutely love it. Now luckily I haven't hit pan on any of the shades yet, but I do love this palette. You can see I've dug into a lot of these shades. There's 12 shades in here. They're mostly shimmer. There are a couple of mattes, like this one right here is matte. This is Foxy, let's see, Foxy and Tease and Blackout. Okay, so Foxy, Tease, and Blackout are completely matte. Some of them are kind of satin that almost look matte, like Booty Call. The rest of these are pretty shimmery, but I can get some gorgeous looks out of this. And I have got all the Naked palettes. I have got the Naked 1, the Naked 2, the 3, the Smoky, the Heat, and out of all of them, the 2 is my favorite. It really is. And I mean, you guys know, you've heard about these Naked palettes for years, right? Still swatching here. I mean, you guys know Urban Decay puts out, for the most part, an amazing shadow product. You guys know that. And these in the number 2, the number 1, okay, Urban Decay Naked 1 is neutrals, but they are very warm. They're much warmer neutrals. The Naked 2, which is the one I'm swatching right now, also neutrals, but very cool tone neutrals. And I do like a good warm tone, don't get me wrong, but my skin, look at that black, my skin is more, my complexion is more of a cool tone complexion. Things that look better on me are, like, I don't look great in gold jewelry, but I look really good in silver jewelry. Pinks look great on me, oranges do not, you know. So I am more of a cool-toned person. I can get away with wearing other stuff because I think I lean a little neutral as well, but for the most part I am more cool. And this palette is just, for me, just an amazing find. And like I said, I like it better than any of my other Naked palettes that I have. So, great palette. Alright, my number 2 spot is kind of like 2 palettes, but they're from the same brand. It is the IT Cosmetics Naturally Pretty palettes. These 2 right here. I've got the original and I've got the Romantics. I actually like the Romantics one just a little bit better as far as color shade goes, but these are all really nice quality shadows. I'm not going to swatch all of these because there's a ton of them, but these are all matte. And then you have this one right here that's called Transforming Pearl, and this guy you can put on top of any color to just kind of transform it to a more of a shimmery type look. but these are just beautiful. I'm just going to swatch a couple. This is more of your warmer toned palette here. Look at that. Look at it. Just beautiful. This is more of your warmer toned palette. It does have one or two cools in it here. Those are kind of cool. It does have one or two cools, but for the most part it is your warmer toned palette, and it is just a beautiful quality palette. These shades blend beautifully. They last all day. I've had no issues with this. I use this as a brow bone highlight. I can use this on top of other shadows to do the transforming pearl to make your shadows just a little more glowy on the lid. And I've used it without this. I've used just all the mattes, and it's just beautiful. And the other one is the Romantics, and as far as the color selection goes, the color selection in the Romantics is a little more cool. So this, I actually gravitate to this palette just a little bit more because of the color selection. And again, it does have the Transforming Pearl down here. Let me go ahead and swatch a couple of these guys out. Okay, so there's your Transforming Pearl. Again, all matte. Let's do this here. Okay. I mean, look at these. Okay, so tell me those aren't just beautiful, right? Let's do this little green guy right here, because I know some of you guys are probably looking at the screen, right? This green is actually very beautiful as well. Okay, that's the green. It's kind of a mint green. It's really, really pretty. So the IT Cosmetics Naturally Pretty palettes I am just in love with. Now the Superhero palette was okay, not one of my favorites. But if you guys see these Naturally Pretties, and just depending on which color range you're drawn more to, try them out. They're really good. Number one. Now, number one on my high-end list has been one that some people either love it or they hate it, okay? I've heard good things from some people, and I've heard just really bad things from some people. I am one of these that I love this palette, and that's why it is number one in my list, and it is the Tarteist Pro eyeshadow palette. I love it. I have traveled with this palette I don't know how many times. It's got a huge mirror, which I have had to use this mirror before. I was in a room where I didn't have much light, and so I had to take the mirror over by the window and actually do my makeup like this, and I can see my entire face in this mirror. It is so, so good. Anyway, these are your shades, and I love the shade selection. All of these are matte, and then these over here are what they call they're shimmers, but they call them like a duochrome gelish formula. They're not gel, they're powder, but they're called a gelish formula, and these shades are just absolutely beautiful. Let's see if I can swatch some of these out without actually blinding you guys to death here. I don't want to stick my finger in it either. Alright, so let's see. Let's do like this guy. I'm just going to do a couple of these guys too. I'm not going to do all of them. Now these are, guys, a little more dry feeling than a lot of the other shadows that I have shown you today. But the pigmentation and the blendability of these is just so amazing. I can't stand it. I mean, look at this. They're just beautiful. And let me do a couple more of these little shimmery guys here. One of them is truly a duochrome. Okay, do you guys see that? I mean, these are just beautiful shadows. And like I said, people either love them or they hate them. I'm in the love category. I just absolutely love these shadows. And like I said, I've traveled with this palette many times. I get several looks. And one of my favorite things about these palettes, about this palette, is if you look at it, okay, the way that they've laid this out is you can go row by row and get a different look every time. So like all of these shades here go together. All of these shades here go together. All of these shades here go together. So you'll see you can get, I mean, you can go row by row and get a different look every single day if you wanted to. Or you can just mix and match them any way you want. But they have specifically laid out this palette so you could go row by row. Each row is its own look with colors that are blendable together, that match well, that go well together. That's what I'm looking for. That go well together. And that's how Tarte actually designed this palette. You don't have to use it that way. You can use it any way you want. But I love the fact that on Monday I can use these shades here and they go well. On Tuesday, I can use these shades here, and they go well, and I get a totally different look. Or I might use this or this as a more natural look, and this is a more dramatic look. I mean, but like I said, you can mix and match them any way you want. So again, this is the Tarteist Pro eyeshadow palette, my all-time favorite eyeshadow palette. Alright guys, so that is it. I know this is kind of a lengthy video. I will try to cut it down just a little bit, but those are my top 5 palettes for drugstore affordable and high-end. I hope you guys found this video informational, informative. That's kind of the same thing, isn't it? Entertaining, something. If you did, go ahead and give it a big thumbs up. Also guys, let me know if you have tried any of these palettes and what your thoughts were. Also, if you have any suggestions of palettes for me to try or that you would like me to review, please leave those down in the comments below. I will be happy to get them and try them out this year. And if I have already tried them out, I will let you guys know. But definitely, fill me in. Let me know what you guys want to see. Alright guys, so like I said, pretty much it. You can look me up on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Tumblr, Pinterest, all under Rock Fabulous 40s. And guys, also, if you want to get notified of videos that I have posted, go ahead and hit the bell down there as well. And hit subscribe down there. There is a subscribe button down there somewhere. Hit that subscribe button and you too can rock your fabulous 40s. And I will see you guys next time. Bye guys.